Andrew, I have news for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
I reached out to Jeffrey.
Oh, really? What did you say?
I did. I was just kind of because we hadn't been speaking. We've been broken up now for 3 weeks, and it's just so weird. I think the weirdest thing about breakups is when you go from talking to someone all day, every day, and like say goodnight before you go to bed. They're the first person you talk to when you wake up, and you tell them what you're eating, like all the stuff that I want to tell people about that I don't have anyone to tell anymore.
Yeah.
And I just like have this weird, like, I wish I could text him. I want to text him. And we used to watch The Mandalorian together. Like we both feel a lot of ownership for Sweet Baby Yoda.
And it's
So,
back.
and it's back. So I watched the episode and I was like, oh my God, I have a deep love and need to protect Baby Yoda and also to tell Jeffrey I'm thinking about this.
Yes.
So I reached out to him and I said, did you watch Mando? And he said, hi, exclamation point. I did. I liked the ep and I really liked Timothy Oliphant, who was the special guest for
Wait,
the
I have a
first
question
episode.
before you go any further.
Yes.
Was it just simply, did you watch Mando? Or did you say
Just
hello?
simply no. Did you watch Mando? No
And
hello. No, like we haven't spoken for 3 weeks. No anything. Just like, did you watch Mando? Exclamation point, question mark.
and can I get a timestamp as well? Like when
Yes,
was
we're
this text
talking
sent?
Sunday afternoon.
Oh, okay. So this wasn't like a 1 a.m. like, hey, I just
No.
simply, yeah, okay.
This isn't, it's not like I miss you, I'm thinking about you, I'm sad. It's like our baby Yoda is back on TV.
Yes.
So I need to tell you that I'm watching it. But then while I was waiting for him to text me back, which did not take very long, but it felt like an absolute eternity to me, I like literally was having heart palpitations and sweating. And I was like, oh no, this was a bad idea. Like,
Yeah.
I am not ready. I'm not ready to have innocuous like conversations about TV at this point. I was like really wanted to try and I wanted to
Because
see if
if
I'd be
I,
okay.
because I mean, like, what was the last text right before that?
I'm out front when he was about to break up with me.
Okay, all right, it's very
Nothing.
bold.
From
Yeah.
nothing to are you watching Mando? So yeah. So immediately I kind of was like, fuck, Mayday. I can't believe I did this. This is what everyone told me not to do. And then I told my dad and my sister who were home at the time with me. We all watched Mando together.
Hmm.
I told them that I did it and they were like, no, Jenny, why? Why did
Yeah.
you reach out? So I then kind of I was like, okay, abort, go back on the mission. And I was like, same, just watch it. It was so good. I'm really excited for the season. Need more BB Yodes. And then I said, anyway, hello, weird to watch it without you. I'm not ready to see you pick up my stuff yet. I'm sorry. Is it okay if I wait until after the election? And he said it was definitely weird to watch without you too.
Oh my God,
And
that
then
was
he
such
said,
a
no
healthy
rush at all.
conversation.
I know. And then he said, no rush at all on picking up your stuff. Take it as long as you need. I'll be here. And that was it.
Wow,
That's all. I haven't spoken to him for now another week.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So are you having any thoughts like since, like what's going on?
Um, I'm feeling better this week. This is the first week where I only cried happy tears for the
Oh,
election.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
I didn't wake up at all just like wanting to sob. So I
Hmm.
think I'm healing slowly. So that
Yes.
feels good. Um, and I'm definitely extremely horny.
Uh-huh.
So we're there. Um, but I'm like,
Okay.
I'm sad.
Can
Like I
we
miss him.
ask how
I'm
you're
sad.
taking care of this?
How am I taking? You know exactly how I'm taking care of this.
Okay, I just wanted to know if there's
I
maybe like
bought a
a,
new vibrator. It's literally in a box on my
that
desk
was
right
the
now.
question and you
Yeah,
provided an
absolutely.
answer. I love it. Wow.
Yeah, that's where I am right now.
I'm
So
proud.
yeah, so that's where I am, and I'm like sad and I miss him, but I also haven't been feeling really down, horrible about myself or about how it happened, and yeah, I still don't feel ready though to get my stuff, which is unfortunate because he has some very nice skincare at his apartment and my favorite slippers.
Yeah. Would you potentially be okay with just completely letting go of those
No,
material items?
no, I
No.
wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I do
Would
need them back eventually.
but Jeffrey also has roommates that you could
I know,
also.
but I don't want to do the like roommate drop off thing. Like I want to be brave enough to see him in person.
Okay. I mean, I don't think it's like about being brave or not. It's about protecting yourself.
Yeah.
Just being like, okay, I need my things and I want to be able to continue on my day in a healthy way. And so I think that might be the best way of doing it. That's my way of looking at it.
That's a sweet and nice suggestion that
But
I think I am not going to take.
Sure, of course.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to wait until I can do the exchange, I guess.
Yeah. I have a number of sweaters from my ex-boyfriend that I love wearing.
They're yours now.
They're really nice sweaters, so they're mine now.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be mad if he's using my nice skincare. I'd be mad.
How about, wait, what was the other item?
My favorite slippers. They're the like Addison Rae Uggs.
Wow. Yeah, he might already have broke them in.
Yeah, he might have split them in half. Our feet are not the same size. Okay, that's it. That's my week. It's been extremely meaningful, not just for this, but also because obviously we are getting a new president and I'm so happy. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm glad that I'm fine. I'm glad that you're doing well. I have no receipts to provide. Definitely nothing to the extent of this Mando conversation. So
I know. My sweet baby Yoda. I really felt like we were his parents.
I didn't realize that you were. Are you like an actual like Star Wars fan? Or?
No, just baby Yoda is so cute.
Oh, okay. And how prominent is this baby in this series?
It's all about him.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow. I didn't realize that was like primarily about. I've seen the memes. I didn't realize that it was like that was the focal point.
That is literally the purpose.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I'm a single parent now. We love, as is the Mandalorian. So, it all comes back. I'm so excited though about our guests. I feel like you know so much about my life already at this point, and I cannot wait to hear about yours. They are so funny. We have our first ever couple. They're also both incredibly attractive. It is wild to me that they are dating each other. It's almost too much. So you can listen to them and laugh on their podcast, She Does Stand Up Too. So everyone, you're listening to Matthew Broussard and Laura Sogar.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Hello.
I'm so happy to have you, and I'm so excited to have our first ever couple on the show. Yeah.
Sorry to hear about your breakup. That sounds very, very tough. There was, I remember going through one after college, and there's a line from Postal Service of "Your heart won't heal right if you keep tearing out the sutures," and fighting that urge to keep texting someone knowing it's just going to prolong the healing period. But I can't imagine a relapse event worse than this election. Everyone broke their diets. Everyone relapsed on their addictions and texted their exes.
And the one thing you want to do when you break up with someone is just sleep with a lot of other people.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that in a pandemic.
Not the right time for that, it turns out.
But I do hope you get some safe dick somewhere.
Thank you. I would love some safe dick. Sometime before the end of the year. I'm hopeful that I can
get it.
I have
that I can have safe dick before the end of the year. I'll just make everyone take a rapid test before they touch me.
That's Chappelle. Yeah.
One night.
Yeah.
Over 15 minutes, and then you can come in.
Yeah, and then you can come into my apartment, but just like stay outside. You'll be comfortable. It's worth it.
$100. That's cheaper than dinner.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
What if a guy tests positive, but he's like perfect, and then it's a movie sitcom about you trying to find the guy who you turned away for having COVID 2 weeks later? You're like, I gotta track him down.
Write that script.
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect, except he was COVID positive.
I'm hoping that it's not COVID positivity that keeps me from meeting the man of my dreams right now.
Our love is stronger than COVID.
I don't know
if that's the vaccine.
Yeah, I love that. But also I don't want to encourage it. To any of our listeners, don't do it.
No.
Don't be a spreader just because it's the most handsome man you've ever seen. I don't know. My buzzer, I'm sorry.
It's the safe dick time.
Yeah,
it's here.
Pick up.
Wow, and you're ignoring the call.
This is it. This is the beginning. We're just talking about.
We're manifesting it, and it's happening so fast. And I love. So how are you two? How has your quarantine been?
Well, We're pretty good right now. I mean, what a weekend. It's been a couple of days.
Non-stop. Yeah, I usually travel pretty frequently, so this is our first real extended time with very few breaks. And it's gone well in spite of that.
That's amazing.
We've learned how to do it. We just spent a month with her parents, a month with my mom.
Wow.
When things shut down, which
Times,
yeah.
Yeah.
How was
Yeah,
that? How was living with parents?
Like, I wouldn't recommend.
Yeah.
Skip
but
it.
I'm happy we did both, because if both of us had to get, like, after she inflicted that on me, I had to inflict that on her. If it had been just one way, there would have been forever resentment, but we counted the hours of being like, okay, I spent as much time with your parents as you spent with mine, and they're home. We could barely go to the grocery store. Like, there's no escaping it. So you wake up and they've made you coffee or whatever, and they're great people. I'm gonna say your parents are a lot easier to deal with than my mom, but there's only one of her, so
yeah, no, they have double the power.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double the power, half the crazy.
That feels even then.
That's crazy. Yeah.
I feel like that's even.
It was definitely, we also got to, like, have some good times with them as well, but definitely was happy to get back to New York, and we just got
no parents.
Spent a lot of time decorating the apartment.
It looks amazing. It looks so cute.
Really, I think we have the same pink UV light for our plants.
We do, but mine is actually a UV light for me. It's helping.
Really?
It's helping me grow. It's
it just emits UV into the apartment.
No, just a neon sign. No UV. No,
you discovered the olive tree dead.
Okay.
Now that is also a UV light for
us. Is that the olive tree?
Oh, it's dead.
Oh, buddy. Okay. Well, that's a bad omen. The symbol of peace has died.
Okay, I am worried about that, especially the timing.
Yeah. You know where the peace sign comes from?
No. Where's it come from?
The dove's foot. The dove that carried the olive branch to Noah's Ark. So it's a sign of peace. It's a dove's foot.
Wait, so circle. Peace is like this, and dove.
I'm sorry. The dove, the circle with the line down. The circle looks. It's like a Mercedes-Benz logo plus one little altitude at the bottom.
I was like, this is a crippled dove.
The person who saw that, the person who was like, I'm gonna deconstruct the dove's foot to make a symbol of peace, was high out of their mind.
Absolutely.
Like, whoever thought of that, there's no way. I don't see it.
Even when you explained it to me, I was still like, what?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's more impressionist than realism.
Yeah, definitely. It's an abstract kind of moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm picturing, like, in restaurants when you make a deconstructed, like, pizza. It's like the elements are there.
And you're holding on.
But it's not the thing.
Exactly.
Top Chef, I don't know. So you guys have been back for how long?
Oh, a while now. Yeah.
Okay.
All of summer, and then ongoing.
Okay.
Laura's
so
been working.
You were just hiding out when things first shut down.
Yeah.
We were already in Florida when
we were like, I guess we won't go back.
Wow. Okay.
And it was cold in New York, and we're like, we're already here. Our parents are across the state, so
drove over and stayed with them for a while.
Amazing. Were you nervous to be in Florida? I feel like it was a hotbed for a little bit.
It was later. So at that point, there were no cases. It was New York. That was like really big. New York and like, I feel like California, like Seattle, I feel like was really bad initially.
This was all the Northeast. So this is when it was New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts.
But it was new. Over those weeks, it kind of spread around the Northeast. But New York Florida was not bad, but later on it got bad.
It's funny, at the time we were scared, but there were likely 0 cases in Fort Myers at that point. We thought it was like around us at the grocery store.
Like, there's nothing down here. But obviously everyone was just being very careful.
Yeah.
Still are, but
yeah, you're more likely to see a gator.
Exactly.
than to get COVID.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how many years of dating is this for you?
4.5.
Wow. That's amazing.
The last year has been 3.
Yeah, the last year's been 3.
We're like an old married couple now in terms of our efficiency of communication and routine. So
that's like, in what ways?
We did learn to communicate a lot better because the close proximity had more conflicts. So we just learned how to spot conflicts and what we can both do to avoid them faster. I think as a result of quarantine, we were already on the way to that, but we got to do it intensively. And we have a morning routine. We also have now a more regular schedule because my job is not
Right. You're not
much of a
touring.
job right now. So she works from home every day. There's no meetings. So we're home together all day. So we wake up and get coffee together, and we have, certain nights of the week we go out for dinner or make dinner, and I try to make her lunch or breakfast or something, or vice versa. So it's
That's cute.
very Leave It to Beaver. It's very
Yeah, that's really sweet. Like, would you say that COVID in some ways has helped the relationship?
Yeah, it hasn't hurt it.
Yeah.
That's
Despite
amazing.
most people I know are doing that too.
Yeah.
Well, I think, I mean, I already worked from home before, and just because of Matt's job, he tends to be around during the daytime a lot or traveling, and I don't see him at all. So I think we were already kind of used to, working together and like kind of navigating around each other. We also moved into a 2-bedroom, which was so nice because I felt so bad when we were in the 1-bedroom, he was really trapped. Like when I would work,
I'd have to stay in the bedroom or leave.
Yeah, and I'm like on a Zoom call, and I'm like,
yeah.
can't do anything.
I feel like I think a lot of couples have broken up just because of their apartment size.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, it's tough when you're trying to especially if both people are trying to do an office job, like from your apartment. It's just not big enough.
Right, it's impossible. Because you don't want to date your colleague. That wasn't what we all signed up to do.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I have a crush on this girl in my office. Yeah.
So one other person. We also got a cat.
Yes. Cute kitty.
Right here.
And
a kitty.
Another big thing that's been a difference is Laura started doing comedy pretty shortly before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 6 months before the pandemic, 8. And then as comedy came back, there's all these outdoor shows. We're doing more shows together than we probably would in pre-quarantine times because clubs aren't open. There's not much of a difference between open mics and comedy club book, rooftop shows and all that. So we spend more time doing comedy together. She's been producing outdoor shows. So there's been actually more of an alignment between our comedy.
That's amazing.
So
and
we
if
share
we
that.
break up, it would be tough to avoid one another.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so maybe don't.
Yeah, so we won't. That's the goal, at least.
Maybe don't.
And this is password. We got him in April.
Oh,
my life.
So cute. Honestly, the cutest family I've ever seen right now in your Zoom window. I cannot take it.
Dead trees in the background.
Yeah, you're
Wait,
dead all.
Your cat is named Password?
I know.
Yes.
That is so cute. Wait, what's the inspo?
Go for it.
The 2 most common passwords are password and your pet's name, and
oh my god, I love
together.
that.
Also, she works in cybersecurity, so it actually really fits with her job.
That is so cute.
So cute.
I love that.
So Laura, I know that you had started right before quarantine started in terms of like stand up and doing comedy, and now you two do a podcast together where you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
How is collaborating now as a couple? And from my perspective, it seems like you guys are doing a really good job and are so healthy about it. But from my past experience in terms of dating someone who is a stand-up, or not just someone, like multiple someones who are stand-ups, it can be really bad in my experience.
I can totally see that. I think we're really lucky that we dated for a number of years before I did stand-up, before kind of getting into the collaborating component. So, but it's been really fun. Also, I mean, I started stand-up last summer, just kind of started, going to mics and stuff like that. I've been doing improv. So I was like kind of adjacent to the world, and then obviously going to a ton of shows. So I like kind of knew the lay of the land a little bit, and started doing that. Just did a bunch of mics, got on the occasional book shows, things like that. And then obviously 6 or so months in, COVID hit, and I was like, well, there it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So then there was the initial time where, we started our podcast maybe like a month and a half before COVID hit, and the entire premise of it being me talking about the lessons I was learning with getting the experienced professional comedians feedback, and obviously the relationship component on top. So then we go immediately into COVID, and we're like, well, shit. What are we going to just have the same episode week after week of how's your stand-up going? Non-existent. All right. Back to you.
Right. Doing it for you in the bathroom. That's
right, exactly. Yeah. My jokes are really hitting with my mom.
Yeah, this premise I ran by your dad didn't seem to really make his mustache waggle.
Exactly. So
we mustache.
Yeah, I just had a mustache.
They're serious ones.
Like my
took
entire.
It took a couple week break and then regretted
He had
that.
one since like the 80s or something like this. Was like a 30-year-old, more than that now, mustache.
Oh my God.
And then recently, shaved, like without telling me, that was last year.
Miami. Key West.
He shows up we're meeting him in the Keys, and he had shaved it, and I was like, I hate this. And thankfully he's regrown it since, but I was like, no, not straight, like you cannot do this. I've never seen him without it.
Yeah, you're like, what is this upper lip?
Yeah.
Not a part of my life. I can't imagine.
I'm not allowed to grow a mustache because of him, by the way.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That would be too weird.
Thank you. That's what I said. I was like, would that be weird if I was like, yeah, grow one?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm obsessed with mustaches. Get it going. I want you to look just like my dad.
Just like my dad. Exactly. No, thank you.
Yeah, I think this is healthier. This is definitely the healthier option. I'm very into mustaches, so never show me a picture of your dad. Especially not a young one. Don't show me. So I also can't imagine having a mustache that's older than I am. That's so
wild, right? And then when it was also gone, I was like, I felt like, yeah.
I grew out one for a night, and she like
freaked out.
Have you ever seen the videos online where like a dog owner puts on like a spooky mask and walks in? The dog is scared of their owner because they can't recognize her. That was Laura. Whenever I walked in, she's like.
Trying to kiss me.
I had to shave it an hour later. I just took a bunch of selfies and then just shaved it off in the shower.
That's kind of you. I'm happy.
That's called communication. That's what we learned over quarantine.
That is some good communication. I think that's probably our first piece of advice from this episode. Don't grow a mustache if your partner doesn't want you to.
No, it's going to be a bad time.
Just don't.
Exactly.
So then I think we were kind of on the stand-up was starting to kind of come back outdoors. And have you found, like, are you learning a lot in this time, or is it
so much?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, stand-up for the most part, like at first it came back like in parks, and when you do a park show, you know, there's a decent amount of people there, but they sure as hell aren't there for a comedy show generally. So they're like, this is a baby shower. We don't appreciate your jokes right now. So you're basically barking at the same time as doing your set. I'm a very young comic, and it's a lot of stuff to kind of juggle at the same time. So I definitely grew quite a bit from that. And some parts of it were fun. Like it is nice to be outdoors. Oh my God, and not in like a gross basement.
Yeah.
Really liked that. I do hope those, like the mics and stuff like that, I hope those continue to be in the park.
Yeah. I hope the outdoor shows stay. They're really fun. I also do love a gross basement too. I think about Union Hall most days and miss it.
I'm thinking more of like Climate Lounge, where you're like, why?
I don't think I've ever been there, and I won't go. I'll stay away.
I can only imagine this feels like when a film actor tries to do like a run on Broadway, being like, oh, this is a very different muscle set that I have to work a lot harder at. Performing in parks is different. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some venues started opening up, like rooftops and like occasional like patio bar shows and stuff like that, and those have been really fun of varying degrees. Like it's nice just having everyone there for the same thing. Like everyone here came to watch comedy.
Right, they bought a ticket.
Core principle, and it's great when that occurs.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want a captive audience that does not want to be there.
Exactly. So I started doing some producing, which has been really fun because, I get to do those shows.
Yeah, it's awesome.
My favorite part about it. And it's also nice just to be in like control. I'm a control freak. So I was like, this is great. This is just combining everything I like.
That's amazing. And do you watch each other's sets? And how do you do feedback, and do you do feedback? I'm wondering, because I think I would freak out when I was dating a stand-up. I was like, don't give me fucking notes. I'll be so mad. But
I love when so it depends. Like if I like bomb, I'm definitely not trying to get notes. And it's frequently, by the way. And then like the first like 30 minutes after, I'm like, just hold it. It's fine. But then later on, like actually talking about like the nitty gritty pieces of a set and stuff like that. I think we're both quite coachable. So, and have learned how to, you know, compliment sandwich, like things like that, or like talk about the core or something, rather than like one of those uncontrolled was like, you stuttered. Like, well, yeah, shit, I know.
You know how you
ideal.
forgot the words? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Remember the words
You
next
should
time.
just maybe consider remembering your jokes.
Right. Okay, I'll try.
But I guess it's not any different for me because you've watched me do stand-up comedy for years now, so it's not like I'm pretty receptive to feedback. I like it. So
Matt's so technical about his jokes that it's like almost like you're like critiquing someone else like entirely. It's like, oh yeah, like I could. It's very analytical.
I don't have as much ego invested in it.
Yeah. Whereas I'm so sensitive still.
Right. Because
because it's you. Yeah, being personal. That's where I am too, Laura. I'm like, don't hurt my feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm being vulnerable. But I would love to be at I'm a robot at this phase.
Right?
Sounds pretty good.
There's still some raw moments for me, for sure, where I'm just like, let's talk about anything else. Don't need to hear it. Even when they're like, you did well, I'm like, don't even lie to me. Let's just talk about something else.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about this anymore. I feel like that's what I like about you and Jay Jordan and Zach Zimmerman stand up. I think you all kind of live in that place where you're so like technical. Like your jokes are so like technically perfect.
Thank you. I really like those two. So I appreciate that comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm like, oh no, should I not have said other comics?
We're all very gay. Very gay.
Wait a second.
Okay. But I would say
love Zach and Jay. They're amazing.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I'm so impressed by people who are able to just like write just a beautiful joke. You know, you like see that and like deliver a beautiful joke. My joke's so messy.
No, he's always like, why don't you like know your wording?
Yeah, I'm just like, why don't you just say it
like
the way you said it last time? Once you get the wording, you just stay with that and then never change it because it works.
If I just completely do that?
Yeah, but
I said now or I did as well, but
very different approaches. It's very interesting to see different approaches. Yeah. And
yeah, it's good. And I mean, it's really nice that you guys can be resources for each other too.
Yeah.
Like
we benefit from having started 8 years apart.
Yeah.
So there's no sense of competition. It's just very, very. I started as a 23-year-old at bars in Houston. She started as a 28-year-old at open mics in New York. It's not going to be the same.
Completely different paths.
It's just apples and oranges. So
right.
So there's no sense of competition. There were some open mics early on where you were maybe competitive with me. Not competitive, but
right. So I will have to say, like,
first year is harder.
Like the first few months, you're super just strung out, don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like
everyone hates me. When in reality, no one cares that you're there. Like, you know what
right.
I mean? Like,
they're thinking about their
all over the place. Exactly. And then I
thought I could come with her to some
shows.
shows.
He'd be like, lunch, and I was like, I'm already not loving that, but okay, come on. And we get there, and then of course all the micers, they know him, so you've nailed it, man.
Pretty big name among open micers.
That's huge. It's good to be a celebrity when you roll up.
Yeah, it's great
the basement.
Great to be a hit among people who don't pay to see comedy shows. That's exactly the market you want. People who would never buy a ticket.
Yeah. No, but anyway, he'll come down with me, and then inevitably just get immediately booked on like some random bar show that one of these open micers is running. Cool. I just bombed.
Right. And you're like, well, what about me?
Feeling. Yeah, she didn't even go up.
You're like, I actually need that slot. So what about me?
There's just no way to not be very personally invested in doing comedy. There was even, I don't mean to make fun of you, I'm being a bit hyperbolic in this, but there was a moment of when she was starting comedy, I'm like, this is going to be really rough. These open mics are going to be really rough. She was like, I was a pro swimmer. I don't think it could be worse than that. And in some ways, it's obviously not as painful as swimming, but there are moments that it hurts and it doesn't make sense that it hurts. And that makes you even angry at yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, why can't I dissociate myself from what 8 people in the bottom of a bar thought of me yesterday? Why is that still bothering me today? And there's anger at the anger. The confusion makes you more frustrated. So reliving that through Laura, I don't experience that as often anymore. I certainly do have plenty of low sets, but like seeing that again was I think after years of doing comedy, you are forced to have amnesia. You only have nostalgia for those early stages. You really can paint over those parts. And this was kind of, it was like, what's it called in therapy? You salvaging repressed memories or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, wow, I'll watch something happen over and like, wow, I completely drowned out that one night in Houston. Like,
oh my goodness.
So my trauma helped him just relive some fond memories.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. A beautiful joy you can give each other.
My gift to him.
But the park shows have really, it's smoothed everything out. We feel like we're more in a rhythm and it's much more symbiotic. Our paths are more intertwined, and
It's nice to be booked together. That's really sweet to be like, oh, I'm gonna definitely have a friend at the show. I have someone to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
it's amazing.
Shows are over.
I know.
Sort of. We'll see where it goes from here. I have hope. New York is very resourceful there. They put stuff together. They always manage to follow the rules and make something happen.
100%. We're not dead. We're actually so alive in New York.
Weirdly alive.
Also, like,
so crazy.
We could use less people here. That's
kind
of the thing. What? Like, the last 20 years, everyone was like, the housing and all that. Now we're like, there's some people leaving. Oh no! And I'm like, that's a good thing, you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know of other ghost towns with traffic jams.
Right. Like, have you been around at all?
Yeah, or incredible cocktails on the street. Show me a ghost town where you can get an amazing cocktail on the street.
I
walk up to a window. Yeah.
I love that too.
Oh,
I want to keep it.
I think we're supposed to. We'll see, but it's amazing, and it makes the city feel more alive. Ironically, so
there's gonna be paintings of New York during the pandemic.
And it's just me like doing a shot.
Kids on the streets throwing confetti, and then Laura just chugging a bag of pina colada mix.
I would love that.
Yeah. What was the gallon?
Restaurants.
What's the gallon they're advertising? Did you see that as you walked to Target? It was.
No, I
it's
didn't.
Was it Applebee's? Applebee's has a gallon jug of it's a gallon, and it's like
you can just
a
take with
bag. It's a bag. Yeah, you can order it to go. It's a bag. It's not even a firm vessel. It's.
God, Applebee's is just like, what if we just took everything to the next level, like to 11?
Yeah.
Do you stick your straw in your big bag?
I hope so. That sounds kind of fun.
That sounds wild. That's what I'm doing
full of tater tots.
Yeah, it sounds like a house party in college. Like, everyone go get your Applebee's bags.
Yeah, 100%.
Over your shoulders.
It's like Capri Suns.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted an adult Capri Sun my entire life. And Applebee's has that? Wow.
There you go. We had those in Austin. There's a bar that does adult Capri Suns. It's like this fun bar on Rainy Street. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah. It's
perfect drink for children. A city full of man-child.
Oh, exactly. We're all like.
I'm not happy with Texas right now, so I don't think I'm going to visit them anytime soon. But
that's fair. Also,
it
pandemic.
was closer than it should have been.
I know. I'm proud. I'm proud. We're working on it.
First gay mayor in the United States, Houston, Texas.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's really exciting.
Of a major city.
I love Arizona, and I'm really proud of them. I was making all my calls for Arizona.
That is cool.
It felt really cool. It was like, I've been calling for Mark Kelly, my freaking astronaut, for months.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he did it.
I'm from Georgia, so it was a very proud moment. I've been saying this for years, that this is going to happen, and it's gonna draw in a lot of film industry.
To show the power of realistically, Atlanta was what Georgia took Georgia over the line, and obviously, and then Austin and Houston to an extent.
And Dallas is blue.
Dallas is blue, but less so. But it brought up Texas super close.
Yeah.
Really close.
Yeah.
Way closer than it should have been. It's a big state. Like, I went to school in UT, and it gets deep red. You drive out.
Home of 2 bushes, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 3.
Of the places, I'm like, yeah, it's fair that this is red. You have all the history, a good bit of it. So.
Did you two, so remind me how you met. You just mentioned college, and was it college? No. After.
Years after, yeah.
Okay.
It's a story. For me, it was. Was I 28? 6 years out of college.
Well, this goes into our receipts because we actually.
Oh.
Want me to tell the story?
Yeah. we can start.
I was a fan of her swimming. She was a world ranked swimmer at that point. I was particularly a fan of the breaststroke events, and I saw a video of online. And you watch races, you don't know what anyone looks like. You just know their names and their times. And there's an interview with her. She takes off her cap and her goggles, and I was like, Jesus, that girl's really pretty. I knew her name because I knew the UT. I used to go swim at the UT pool, so I knew her name as like their star swimmer. I saw an interview. I was like, she's really cute. And I think I followed you, and at the time you had a boyfriend. And in the coming months, she followed me back. I didn't know why, but I had a guess that it was through a friend of a friend. Oh, they broke up. Yes, sorry. She was not following me.
You broke up. You followed him back.
Yeah, the breakup she didn't follow me back. She just followed me. I don't think she knew I followed her because I learned later that it was through one of her friends who was in the between comedy and swimming.
So to put a little bit more context, Matt swam or was the manager.
I was swimming adjacent.
Was the manager at Rice, which is in Houston. So Houston swimming, Austin swimming, a lot of like shared connections between the two. So one of my friends had like showed me his profile, and I was like, he's not following him.
So,
okay.
I had followed her for swimming. She had followed me.
Yeah, but it was also like one of those.
Didn't know each other,
right?
But found each other and were like, this person is hot, and followed.
And just like to be clear, this was a purely hypothetical scenario. Like it wasn't, like with those people you follow and you're like, they're not real. Like I don't actually ever anticipate meeting this person. I just kind of keep an eye on him.
Yeah, I have Instagram boyfriends like that for sure.
Yeah, you're just watching them and you're like, this is what this app is for.
How is this person doing? I mean, for me right now, it's John Ossoff, even though he's married. He's an Instagram boyfriend for me.
Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
That's
just
nice.
That's good. Interview with that when he called him a crook. I appreciated that.
Yeah, he's my boyfriend,
So we were in distant orbits of each other through friends, but it was pretty much a question mark. Besides, I just saw she would like a photo of mine every now and then, and I guess it was likewise. I did not have much to my name at that point.
You didn't have any stand-up online? Well,
no, I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't, especially at that point.
Yeah.
Later on, 6 months later, then you had one set week.
Where were you in your stand-up career at this point?
I was making a living out of it. I was doing colleges. I had some small TV credits and was bopping from, a failed MTV pilot to a day gig for E and like one guest star on a sitcom or something like that. Was getting by in obscurity, but was gearing up to start releasing stuff. Felt pretty good about where my material was at, and felt like I was about to have a bigger audience. And I was in LA in West Hollywood, and I open up Bumble and I see her picture, and I scratch my head because I know she's in Austin. So I take a screenshot to show to my roommate and I swipe right. And then I sit there for a second. And I'm like, well, that's dumb. We're already following each other on Instagram. Why try to start a message on Bumble when I already have an open channel? So I sent her a screenshot of the Bumble, and I sent the quote underneath it, "Hey, do you happen to be in LA?" And she said, "No, I was just there." And I think we just chatted back and forth before she said, "Well, if you're in Austin, let me know. I'd love to see you do stand-up. Here's my number."
Okay.
And we texted for like a month, and then I came to Austin. I happened to have a show in Austin. I was like, I'm going to be there for work.
Did you book one specifically to go to Austin?
I found a way to go, yeah. I was actually in Texas, but then I planned a show in Austin to have an excuse to be there in case
Laura could come. I love that.
Unless, Laura, I just wanted to legitimize my visit.
He was just like showing up to see me, a woman he met online.
Yeah.
I was also swimming at that point, so I was like in deep training, definitely in the like focus.
Yeah.
And what did you see the Bumble match in real time, Laura?
I barely used, I didn't really go on the apps. Yeah, I know this.
Here's the real part of the story. Here's the part we left out.
First of all, I didn't ever see him on Bumble, so I didn't swipe left or right. Like I definitely would have swiped right, but that never even came to. So I was just like, okay, like.
What happened was when you send a message via Instagram, it crops the top and the bottom for a full height image. So it cropped off the top of the image where it says Bumble and the bottom where it says Laura. So it just looked like I sent her a picture of herself and knowledge of her location. We didn't figure this out until way later.
This is how attractive Matthew is. That I was like, okay. Sure.
You're like, this is the creepiest message I've ever received, but this creep's hot.
I'm actually 100% here for it.
We didn't figure out till months later. I was like, getting crazy with the Bumble thing. She's like, why do you keep saying Bumble? It was Instagram. I was like, the picture. She goes, what picture? And we had to piece it together that she didn't register that. So I went on the assumption that she saw it, and then she just was like, I guess he just saw me on, I don't know, Facebook or something.
Biggest compliment I've ever given to date.
Yep.
Not immediately calling the cops. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Under other circumstances, that could have been a block moment for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he's very pretty.
So you were texting, and then how many months was it before you actually saw each other in Austin?
A little less than 1.
Okay.
No.
About 1.
Was it? I want to say it was
February 26th, and I remember it was the end of March when we met because my birthday was that week. So it was February 26th, and then it was I was there when March turned to April. I was in Austin when March turned to April. So maybe 5 weeks.
Colorado Springs, the Olympic Training Center at that point. Mm-hmm. So the time just felt way longer. It's like this dorm-like situation, which is miserable training day in, day out. But it was nice. It was like I was like chatting with you, and I was like, all right, back to the pool.
I also met your ex-boyfriend before I met you. Is that a weird story?
Kind of, but go for it.
I was in Houston on a different event, on a different night, and went to train with my my old master swim team. So it's a group of people anywhere 18 to 70 who all swim together. And I swam with everyone, and 2 of the people we were like, oh, let's just go do a quick workout in the gym together. And it was Ryan, my friend Ryan, and a guy I hadn't met named Don. And this guy's like 6'7", an unbelievable swimmer, just a very, very fit person.
Love him. He's wonderful.
Yeah. And we were talking about swimming, and I'm a big, big nerd on swimming. He goes, yeah, my ex-girlfriend went at 2:23 and didn't even compete at Worlds. And I was like, 2:23? Who's your ex-girlfriend? That's an incredible time. He goes, Laura Sogar. And I was like, Laura Sogar single? Because at that point I was like, oh, I've seen you in pictures, because I swiped through this girl's profile before and saw that she was dating someone. So it was in that moment I was like, well, she's single. So yeah,
light bulb.
I just put a pin in that one at that moment.
It's great because my swimming accomplishments are very impressive, but don't generally attract men necessarily. It's like you put a cap on, you cover your whole face, you wear this suit that just makes all your curves go away.
Right, like very flattening.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a.
You couldn't look. You couldn't look more like a sperm.
Exactly. If I was designing an outfit to look like that, that's what I would design.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. It's also so funny how nerdy you are about it, Matt. Because I don't know. You just said mumbo jumbo to me. She swam a 2:23, and I'm like, what?
She won nationals. I guess that's probably more. She was the fastest in America.
I understand that because of Glee.
Fully. Yeah.
I get that, actually.
What was that?
I understand that because of Glee. Nationals. I understand that.
That's your basis.
Yeah. You're talking, I mean, I love and am intimidated that you two are funny, attractive athletes. I love it, and I'm scared. You swim.
Poorly, very poorly. I worked really hard at it. I started late. I wasn't good enough to be on a college team of any sort.
Matt just has
and I have a Rudy level enthusiasm for it, That's a reference to a movie that has sports in it.
Haven't seen.
His muscles are all for show, which is actually all you really need in
life. Yeah, there's things you don't have to be fit. You just have to look
actually,
fit. Yeah.
It turns out just not matter how fast I go in the water. It's irrelevant. I've never been needed to race. In the office, no one's ever get in there.
Yeah, no one's ever nice abs. That's your form.
Yeah. They're just you're skinny. Yay.
That is so silly. And then so you were still kind of not based in the same place, but both based in Texas when you went?
No, I was in LA.
You were in LA. Yeah, just
Yeah, I
visiting
was living in
Texas.
LA. So we would do probably we found a way. I would probably go out there for a weekend. We had like a weird run of like, it was Thursday to Tuesday. I would just fly in on Thursday, leave on Tuesday, and I could do comedy in town. And
You'd
I would
come
just stay with her.
between like shows,
Mhm.
like instead of flying back to LA, sometimes he'd come to Austin.
That too.
That
Yeah.
was the nice part about his job. It's like kind of helped with distance dating because
And I'd only have to pay for one plane ticket. If I flew to Austin instead of home, then it was just like kind of, it was only one way of it that was excess expenses, or especially if work was booking the flight. I could be like, yeah, it's fly me to Austin instead of flying home. And we did that for a year.
Wow.
And then she retired from swimming after 2016. And she asked me, you know, I know there's not many places where you can do comedy. What cities could we potentially live in? And I said, LA or New York, that's really it. And she said, do you have a preference? And I said, wherever you find a better job. And she found a better job in New York. So I met her there.
Aw.
So
we
after
moved in
1
together.
year,
Moved
after
in
1
together
year of
1
dating
year.
distance, we
No, I know,
moved in
It's
to
so
a
funny
shoebox.
because if any of my friends told me this whole story and were like, I'm gonna move to New York and move in with this guy, and we've been dating distance for a year, I'd be like, are you insane?
Yeah, instead of
Do
seeing each other,
not.
Yeah,
instead of
you
seeing each
feel
other
like
for 1 weekend a month, you're gonna see me every minute of every day.
But it worked out, thankfully. But it was one of
That's
those ones where I was like,
amazing.
that could have gone either we're gonna break up right away,
Mhm.
or hopefully, you know.
Yeah, and I was pretty happy to. LA brings out a state of inertia in me that was pretty bad. I spent 3.5 years there and didn't really accomplish much.
That's not
Mhm.
true.
I never took an act. There's so many things I was like, I would just. It's such a lovely place. You wake up, you're like, I could start working, or I could just go for a hike, or go to the
Right.
gym, or grab a smoothie, or go to the beach. And you just kind of every day, you just live like a retired person and never do the things you need to do to progress yourself. And then I made up my mind that I wanted to live in New York years prior, and it took her kind of give me the push.
New York's great because you're so uncomfortable with
Yeah.
everything all the time that it's like, I better go do something, go
Yeah.
work.
I
Yeah.
need angst.
Yeah, we do need a
Which,
little
'cause-
length.
Yeah, I'm a toxically understressed person, so I need someone poking me with an electric prodder to get me to do anything. She's the opposite. So New York was she's
New
already
York was pretty intense.
a pretty anxious person, so she had to learn how
To
to.
go to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Ooh, we love that. Obsessed with therapy.
After
It's like,
yeah,
hold on. This is not healthy.
yeah.
That's
So,
also, that's really nice that I think it's good that it's not two very stressed out people dating each other, or two very laid back people. Like, it's nice to have a little mix so that you can relax and be calm, but then also be ambitious
Right.
and productive.
he chills me out, and I kind of, you know,
Rev me up, yeah.
hold him to the fire a little bit.
Yeah, but just so many things I started when we moved in together. There were so many things I started doing, like
Unpacking.
classes was one, or organizing. Yeah, just being like, I'd never taken classes, and she was just like, I would talk about things. She was like, okay, what if you actually did them? I was like, oh, she's like, go sign up right now. I'm like, oh yeah, I can do the things I need to do now. I don't have to just plan to do them. I could just do them. Yeah.
Ironically, it's way more work to just worry about it. For my
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's
it
almost
is kinda crazy how
The
that's true.
dread is worse than the actual.
Yeah, thinking
Act.
about the task is a lot harder.
I also am wondering, so when you first started dating and you were doing it, you were like long distance, when did you know that you wanted to be exclusive with each other? Like, how long was that process? Right now it sounds very whirlwind to me.
It was pretty whirlwind. I was also like training, so I wasn't exactly like out there just hitting the apps. I wasn't even on Bumble at that point. So I was pretty much talking to him, and was like, "Well, I like this guy. Let's see how this one goes." And like, I feel like it kind of escalated. You know,
Quickly.
having you come and visit me, you know, every couple of weeks, like that's.
It was very romantic though.
Would you be like, "Oh, I have another date I gotta go on"? But, like, you stay here in my house.
Yeah, you can stay
And then,
here
yeah.
when I'm busy.
And that summer, like that was April, and that summer I did Conan. I think like a week after we met, I booked my half-hour So it was a big booming summer for me,
bought the
kind of a
stock
good
at the
luck
right
time.
moment.
But for me, on my side of it, it wasn't even a romantic thing. I was just like, well, this checks a lot of boxes, and I wasn't finding none of the girls I was dating otherwise were such a match in the categories I valued. Where I'm like, I'm not going to date another pro athlete who like is this funny and this cool. So I should try to not blow this. So let's invest in this one, and we were exclusive for the first.
So hot, like what am I?
we were exclusive. Without stating our relationship status, I think it was, I remember, it was a dark day where we established it was Omaha where we established our exclusivity, I believe.
I told him I love you first.
Oh,
And asked if
brave.
I know. I was just like, fuck it.
The trick is, if
I'm a catch.
You are.
The trick is just say, be the first person to say it and just say, I love you too.
Damn, I
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Force their hand. Checkmate, you know?
That's devious. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I was the first person to say I love you to my ex-boyfriend. And I had been thinking about it for days. And then I was like, I'm literally going to explode. So I'm just going to say it.
I did it with my last girlfriend many, many years ago. She did it first too and forced me to say it. And then she said, I don't think you mean it. And I was like, okay.
How did you know?
And I took it back and then had to redo it later. So we undid the original interaction and then had to redo it a few months later.
Oh my God.
We were like 18 and 20. People are just
Okay.
stupid at that age or whatever. 19,
Okay, yeah. I was going to say,
I also
don't
feel
know.
like it's such a big flex to just be like, put it out there and just like,
Yeah, I love you. Take it for what you will.
yeah, I'm so secure that like, I hope you love me back, but I just love you.
I don't know. I was definitely a mess about it for sure.
How long was your last relationship?
It was a year. We broke up 3 weeks ago. A year during pandemic, and we lived together with his family.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
For a while.
That's a year on steroids right there.
Mm-hmm. So it was pretty serious for that period of time. But I agree. It is pretty bold to be the first person to say I love you and just be like deliberate about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a breakup etiquette question that's been bugging me for years.
Yeah, ask it.
My favorite t-shirt was taken by my at the time girlfriend, and then we broke up, but I was clearly the loser in this breakup. You know what I mean? I was you know there's a winner and a loser in a breakup, and I was a loser, and I was like, well, can I get my shirt back? She's like, no. It's like, if you dump someone, you don't get to keep the shirt. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think to the loser goes the spoils, you know?
I agree. I think if you're the person who got dumped, then you're able to ask for whatever things back you want.
It's also like your stuff, so.
It is my shirt.
That's kind
It
of.
wasn't
any better. It was
That's
this black
weird.
shirt
That's
with like a
weird.
Basquiat type skull, like neon rainbow skull. Yeah.
I'm sorry you lost that. R.I.P. to that.
Sorry for your loss.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Look how she backs up and then side eyes me as I tell these stories. Yeah.
I know, Laura's like just back here, just like keeping an eye on him. Like, what? You're
I
in
stole a
dangerous
shirt.
territory, boy.
Not from my ex Jeffrey. I haven't stolen anything from him, but I've given him a lot of presents that I would be really upset if he gave them back to me. So I want him to keep every present I gave him. But
Present's different though than like your shirt.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But
that shit at TJ Maxx.
yeah, I thought about you at Marshall's, bitch. You better remember this forever. Remember me and remember this forever. No, but I stole a shirt from an ex who was horrible to me, and I was the loser in the relationship. And I took one of his favorite shirts that was also my favorite shirt, and I still have it. It feels like
the best part is like girls can do that. Like guys can rarely take our shirts.
Except us, we fit very well.
Ours is a
We
little
can
bit
we
different.
share
For
a
the
lot
most
of
part,
sweaters.
though, it's like,
You do?
what are you gonna like take only my like workout clothes?
Yeah, similar sleeve length. So long sleeves fit us. Usually, yeah, a long sleeve shirt fits both of us.
I'm like, oh, we got a new sweater! Yay!
We're both right, yeah. It's nice.
it's very special that you have the same arm length.
Oh yeah.
That's
I'm a big girl. I was very fast.
you're tall and you're fast. I like never in
Not
my
ideal for shopping. It's really not.
never in my
It's
life
okay.
have I had matching sleeves with my significant other. So.
There's a couple pluses. It's mostly minuses.
I don't know. I think it's very glamorous and cool to be tall. Matt was telling us that you were just modeling for Peloton, so.
I'm going to be doing, it's like, I have to send, like, I have no idea what the context around this is yet, but I would imagine it has something to do with my swimming background. And I'm doing it tomorrow, so I have barely eaten, and it's great. You know, when you're just like,
Well, she's been starving herself. She's putting on a really good face right now. She's actually very grumpy.
very hungry.
Are you doing a fast, like a mini?
Yeah, I'm just doing a cleanse,
Pseudo
which is like
cleansing.
fine. I mean, every once in a while.
It's very Jewish of you.
Thank you.
All of our holidays.
I mean, it's tough. Good for you. Like, I don't understand.
I don't do
like
it.
to eat.
Personally,
Yeah,
I don't do it.
I wouldn't.
Personally, I'm
Never again.
really bad about Yom Kippur. So
Yeah.
hopefully I'm going to be okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Fingers
I've been
crossed
trying-
I'm going to be okay. It's not going to come back to get me.
I've been trying to work out a premise about there's all these like supposed Jewish conspiracies. I think the Jewish conspiracies are intermittent fasting and gluten-free diets, because they make us look like little bitches on Passover and Yom Kippur, like this thing that we love to complain about. People are like, I do that all year. Like,
Sorry.
yeah,
Oh my God.
no bread
That's
for a
really
week.
funny.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That is really funny.
Have you tried the master cleanse?
Yeah.
Then you
We
should reference, because that one is
people are like, we can only eat crackers all week, and everyone's like,
I
oh,
have
that's so
spicy
tough. And now
lemonade.
people are like, I
Lemonade for
haven't.
the
Yeah.
Why? Why's it be spicy?
Yeah, Jews invented intermittent fasting.
hmm It's closer to Ramadan. That's like truly intermittent fasting. But yeah, the gluten-free. I remember when the gluten-free thing came out. It's a wet blanket on Passover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passover has just always been that diet.
Yeah.
Plus storytelling.
Plus matzah.
Plus hide and seek.
Yeah.
Passover.
Yeah. We hide carbs from you.
Like what?
Yeah, we're hiding the carbs. Find the carbs, and you get a silver dollar if you find it.
Oh my God, I would hunt some carbs right now.
Yeah. I remember they put it behind a painting one year. There was a painting hung on the wall. It's a really good one. It was a hot, cold game. After the Passover Seder, they hide a piece of matzah in the house, and all the kids, called the afikomen, and all the kids go looking for it. It's really fun.
That's super fun.
Yeah,
It's
there's
so
some good
fun.
Jewish customs. Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's the most
Any
fun.
other fun? Yeah.
One
And then
year-
you also have to read the 4 questions.
Mm-hmm. My family hid it in a trash can one year.
Were you like, gross?
Gross, but good. Gross, but a really good hiding spot, actually.
That's a good hiding
Hiding
spot.
spot.
I'm gonna start doing that with our cat. Just like hide like just around the house and like find it. Yeah, he's over there
Oh,
napping.
So
oh
cute.
baby.
Sorry. I'm bad at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in all these 4 years, you've lived together for like 3 years then.
Yeah, we jumped in.
You really did jump in.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's been like the same kind of
Same.
level of seriousness since?
Well, when you live together, you're pretty serious. So that's kind of stayed consistent. It's interesting though, because like this year I feel like has definitely been more serious because he's here all the time. Like especially those first 2 years when you were doing a ton of college shows and stuff like that, and booking more and more stuff, which was awesome for his career. But he'd be
And the
traveling.
cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
And I was traveling a ton for work the first year that I was here.
Oh God, that's
So
hell.
much. So we didn't see, like, even though we lived together,
She would take 3 flights in one day. She would wake up in
Oh
the
my
morning,
gosh.
catch a 5 a.m. flight to do a
Actually,
meeting in
so-
Albany, and then fly
For
to Chicago for a 4
cybersecurity?
p.m. meeting, and then be back
Yeah.
in New York. Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
Did you have to check on the internet everywhere you went? I'm like, how is securing
She had her
the-
own little Wi-Fi device.
I was
yeah.
like the VPN, or just always
Wow.
remote everywhere. But yeah, no, that was not sustainable. But either way, so that first year we were like living together, but both traveling quite a bit. So it was, I think a natural ramp up as a result. Because then I switched jobs where I'd still travel, but not nearly as much, which is good. So got to see each other more from that. And then obviously this year
Right.
really ramped it up in terms of time together. So
it's frustrating that she now gets to see just how inefficient my days are.
I'm like,
You literally know what you're doing all day.
Right. Waking up at 10 is one thing, but when we both went to sleep together at midnight, it's like I get like, oh yeah, late night last night, really had to sleep in.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, I got back late from like the shows, and now he's like, I went to bed. Everything is done by like 9 nowadays.
That's
been the funny thing about the pandemic or like the doing shows in quarantine like this time is it gets dark so early now, so it's like 7:30, and you're like, back to bed, gotta head home.
I'm done. Yeah, I guess the day is over at 8 o'clock. That's been true.
We watch Sex in the City.
Oh, first time watching?
I highly recommend I've watched like bits and pieces, but I've never watched it through.
Okay.
They never take the subway.
No, they don't. What? Think about their shoes.
No, the shoes are insane.
They're gonna fall in a grate.
That part of the show, the entire time, I'm like, what?
I'm their age now. I'm 32.
Oh yeah.
Which is what they claim to be on the show.
Right. And they're truly late 30s, 40s on the show. Who is who in your relationship?
Ooh. You're a Carrie.
I'm big. No.
Don't be big.
No. Oh God, I'm probably like realistically Miranda. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's fair.
Miranda's also. I mean, we were talking. Didn't someone have a joke about that?
It's Elisa Traeger's joke about how everyone's like, I'm a Samantha, I'm a Carrie, I'm a Charlotte. It's like, Miranda, why aren't you a Miranda? She's the most impressive one of all of them.
What? She's so wealthy.
Lisa Traeger, great comic.
Yeah.
So
I think about that joke all the time, though. So.
Yeah, Miranda's cool. And she ends up with the coolest husband.
That's also, in terms of financial disparity, also a representation of our relationship. I'm closer to Steve, a bartender, financially, than I am to a partner at a law firm. Yeah. If let's just say if Sex and the City was updated to this decade, she wouldn't be a lawyer. She would be at a tech company.
Yes. Oh, definitely Miranda.
Similarly high power position.
For sure.
And they would definitely have to go to Brooklyn. I just can't understand how they never go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, they would definitely. Well, all the fun stuff is in Brooklyn now. They wouldn't be hanging out on the Upper West, Upper East.
Yeah, that sounds
so boring. Yeah.
So boring. So, but alive. So boring, but still, I mean, alive and kicking.
Yeah.
Alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, alive. Were there any other receipts that you guys wanted to share? I know we gathered. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I know we got the big one.
So I get messages from women sometimes because there's some old clips of me online that make circulation where I don't mention having a girlfriend in those sets because they're old.
Right.
I'm like over his shoulder, like.
But I do.
Do you mention that you have a girlfriend in every set now?
Yeah.
That's a lot of my material, and I haven't put on anything in a while that doesn't mention her. Yeah, my Fallon set was all about her, and that's probably my most recent. Right. Oh, and my Comedy Central set was pretty exclusively about you.
Yeah. Laura, you're a muse.
So I've received a slew of messages. It's very interesting. Women are very different in how they approach it, where I've gotten some as forward as, hi, if you're ever single and in this city. Never anything, come cheat with me. Never, ever once. Women are, one that was a very sweet message. I saw your stand-up. I'm also into blank. I think I would be your type or something maybe in that forward. And then I left it on red for an hour and I came back and it said, just saw you have a girlfriend. Very sorry. Have a good life. You know, like, so that's what I get from women.
Yeah, women are
respect that.
Women
Super
are really
cool.
Yeah, because like women,
really cool.
They're bold. They see someone they're interested in. They're like, I'm gonna be brave. DM, reach out, and then they're like, oh, I crossed a line. Now I know. And namaste.
Super respectful. Yeah, but it was very nice. This one I received from I was looking through my other box on Facebook, and I got a slew of messages over the course of months where people may have seen a clip or seen me live, and it's usually something sweet or just I saw this set, enjoyed it, or something like this. And this one says, "Hi, bro, how are you? bro, I loved you so much. And I just responded to it with I said, hey, thank you so much. And that was it. And then it comes back with, you welcome, bro. Bro, I fell in love with me. I want you to fuck me, bro. Can you fuck me? I love you so much.
Bro.
Those 5 all came in together.
Wow.
Then 3 hours pass. Answer, bro. I need you. You are so handsome, bro.
It's like
And I had
C-Spot
to block him
Run
after that.
a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit.
C-Spot Run.
It's like C-Spot. I love you, bro. You love
What-
Answer, bro.
What I love about it is it's simultaneously the gayest and straightest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone but a super straight frat boy being like in so many sentences in bro. It's just very pleasing to me.
Did this give you, do you feel like you got pep in your step from this message?
I think that's a chance.
Can't say I was super excited about this because at first I thought it was a compliment on my stand-up, and the guy didn't even mention my stand-up. I'm not even sure he saw a clip. I think he might have just seen a picture and was just
I just saw the
casting a
screenshot.
wide net. What's that?
He just saw the screenshot. He saw the holding photo on YouTube and was like,
Exactly.
who's this?
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's good in there.
That's
Yeah.
so silly.
So that's my probably most forward message I've ever received.
That's,
Wow.
I mean, that's some woman level shit right there. I did get a fun one recently.
This is what women get on the reg, yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy asked me, he's like, oh, can I do like a shoot with you? Like wanting to, and I was like, of course, loving the compliment. Like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, whatever. And he goes, okay, it's for modeling hands or feet stuff. And I'm like, oh, got it. And I'm out. And for that reason, I'm over here just like, oh my God, he thinks I'm pretty. And I'm like, yeah, he's creepy, wants your feet.
Yeah, he does think you're pretty though. He just specifically likes your toes, you know.
Perfect.
She has very big feet.
They're size 11. They are not cute.
Oh my God, stop hating on Laura's feet.
No, they're paddles. It's fine. They're not
They're
bad.
paddles.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess good for swimming then.
Very,
Very
I
much.
respect them, but are they like cute? No. And that's okay.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes we just need something to do a job.
Absolutely. They're like the workers of the
They're an organ. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very silly. I'm happy that you both are still being solicited over DM.
I think I got a shot with that guy.
And you love each other through it. I think that's really beautiful.
My color commentary, I'm like, you should see this one through. This leads. I don't know. Maybe he's cool. Maybe he's faster than me in the pool.
I have a question. Do you have any advice for creative people dating each other for how to make it work?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I don't know the answer. So it's burned up for me in the past and exploded. So I'm wondering what you guys think.
You have to sacrifice that my career at all costs mentality, and a good cheat code, because usually if you're an artist or someone pursuing an entertainment career, you're very irrational about taking every opportunity you're giving, about working as hard as you can all the time for every little chance at it. And I had to play a game with myself of any night I take off to spend with her, or any gig I have to cancel to spend with her, will be a lost opportunity in that moment, but the enrichment of being in a healthy relationship, of having a partner, will pay off more later. So I guess it's not a super romantic thing of saying it, but it can ultimately, it can make you better at your art form. It can make you better at your entertainment to be a more fulfilled person in relationships. I know it's certainly improved my material. It's certainly made me a more mature, bearable person to listen to. So
yeah, I would say especially in like the performance arts, where it's like inherently live by nature, so you have to go and do things quite a bit. Like a lot of it just came down to the logistics of like, okay, like on Wednesday, like, you know, let's share our calendars, for instance. So we both know, hey, Friday he's got 3 shows booked, so like I don't have to like think that we're gonna see each other, because we're not, and that's fine. I'll make my own plans. You know, being open lines of communication has been one of the things that's helped us, you know,
Yeah.
quite a bit. Or I can be like, oh, he has shows in Chelsea, like I'll try to get drinks with a friend here or there, and then maybe, you know, like just those like little things where they're not exactly like you know, just helpful to fit it all together, because you just got to be a little bit more, you know, your schedules aren't traditional, so you got to be more on top of it.
And goodwill between a couple is also kind of like a big debt clock, where you need to get ahead of it, of like, if you're at a deficit of goodwill, of good acts, of little gifts or little time together, by the time it catches up to you and you get called on it, then you're just catching up. You're just getting out of debt. You know what I mean? Like, even if I take her on a date, it's just to break even. Whereas if you try to take advantage of if I have a slower night with maybe I was like, well, I could do open mics, or it's a night off, I should make something of it before I'm being forced to.
It makes me sound very like,
but you know,
I mean, definitely a very analytical way to say it. But like, what I'm hearing is like, you guys you're making time for each other.
Yeah.
And you're being like deliberate about, like, I care about the pursuit. Yeah, I care about the pursuit of my craft and the art that I want to do, but also I really care about you. So I'm making sure that I'm prioritizing us.
Yeah, no, it's a really good way of putting it. Because even if, like, you know, it gets messed up, or you get like a great show and you have to like reschedule it, we both get it. Like, we're both trying to, you know, want the other person to be successful, obviously, but having that concept of like, hey, your career, I think like the big thing is just making sure the career doesn't seem more important than the relationship, you know, or like, you know, that they're symbiotic.
Symbolic sacrifices, making those. That's a thing to me of like, if it's Tuesday and I have the night off and someone texts me last minute and be like, we have a spot tonight, and it's like, I could just say no to it and try to have a nice night.
Like, you know, at certain points in your career, you have to take those.
Right. So on the days that I do get the big offer, let's say later down the road, we had a good date plan, but then something really big pops up that I can't say no to. Well, I've already made time on a previous date when the stakes weren't so high.
So romantic.
And she does a shit ton for me. She's basically a manager. So, yeah.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, and it's good advice, because I think, I mean, you two are so good about not being competitive with each other and also like lifting each other up. It sounds like
the competitive part, I would say that would be really hard. I mean, just the nature of our relationship is, we're really like very lucky that I am a baby.
Yeah.
So like, there's just no, you know, it's completely different paths, which is great. Actually, it makes it a lot more freeing. We don't have to, we just kind of, you know, observe and support one another.
Yeah, and take all the good things from it, like the good advice, the lessons learned, the new outlook, and learning things again and seeing things with fresh eyes. Like, all that stuff can be beneficial to each other. That's really nice.
If you can date someone outside of comedy, do.
Yeah, I mean,
and then they'll inevitably start doing comedy.
Yeah.
And then don't freak out and support them if they do want to do comedy. Although I have told people I've dated before that you're never allowed to want to do stand-up. So I don't think I'm at the I don't think I'm big enough.
Yeah.
I'm big enough at this point for that.
It was weird for me because I spent a long time purposefully not dating other comedians because I never wanted to be seen as that kind of liability, a guy just, you know, trying to sleep with comedians or trying to date other comedians. Just wanted to be, if I'm at work, I'm professional, and I want to be here to do a good job and respect everyone else, and tried to date outside of comedy. And Laura was that as well, someone who wasn't involved in comedy, at least not with professional aspirations. And also, I also just don't like when like established like 10, 20-year comics date a female open micer. It just seems kind of predatory.
It's so sad. Yeah, I don't like
it. You're not like necessarily a bad person, but you're selling something. Yeah,
I hate that at every stage of the game. I hate that for like improv coaches with girls on their improv team. I hate that with like the young ingenue and, you know, this more established director. I hate that.
Yeah, it feels like you're luring them in with magic tricks that will one day no longer be impressive.
Yeah.
Because
like
when you're new, you're so caught up in it. Yeah.
Like Darren Aronofsky and Jennifer Lawrence. Do you remember that?
But that sounds bad.
She dated him during Mother, and that was no good.
No
good. But he was like her director, and he was like putting her through hell, but he was like, you're the lead in my movie, and she was a young ingenue out of the Hunger Games at that time. I really didn't like it.
Her.
I know. I really didn't like it. But anyway, I agree. I totally agree. I think that is icky.
And then I dated her for 3 years, and then she became a young comedian.
Gotcha, bitch.
Which feels like I started dating a 24-year-old when I was 28, and then when I turned 32, she turned 17. It's like, what? I swear I wasn't a predator at the beginning of this.
You've become what you hate.
Yeah, I was like, no.
It's okay. I think we'll let it slide. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
No, very predatory. I'm also like such an aggressive personality type. I'm like, I don't know if predatory would be like.
Right. You're like, no, actually, I'm using you, bitch. No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Wow. No, I think that's great advice. And I also think it is really powerful to remember, like, as creative people, we often get so invested in our careers in a way that is unhealthy in terms of having a regular human existence and like having fun and giving time to friends and family and a partner, and like how important that is.
Exactly. At the very least, you need some new inspiration.
Yeah.
For creative endeavors. So look at it as a career building opportunity.
She taught me this because of swimming is maybe even more insane, and the dedication you have to it. She did it for 20 years. And one thing I saw of her is that she worked very hard to have a very balanced life, despite spending 4 hours in the pool every day doing this, living it, every meal, every minute of every day planned.
Didn't make the Olympic team. Maybe don't listen to my notes. In an athletic pursuit, perhaps not.
But I dare say the people who didn't have balanced lives would also suffer
very much
from
happier.
it. Yeah. So if she could balance her life as a swimmer, I can certainly balance my life as a comedian.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, you don't want to go to the Olympic Village. That's the best place to get really sick.
Yeah, get STD.
From an STD.
I mean,
Exactly.
I'm so sad she didn't reach her Olympic aspirations. Boy, would that have been weird, just me sitting at home knowing you were at the Olympic Village with all of those beautiful world-class athlete men. Like, I was tortured for, like, in the lead up to the Olympic trials. I was like, I mean, I wouldn't even be mad at her if she cheated. Like, that's, I have to give her a pass.
Yeah, it's once every 4 years.
Yeah, it's like, just don't tell me about it. Whatever happens, just don't.
Well, instead we got to spend a lovely summer together.
Oh, that's beautiful.
In Omaha.
In Omaha. It's been so nice to talk to you both.
Thank you. Thank you for having us on.
Oh my God, I'm so happy that I did. And like, I think everyone needs to follow you. So please drop, what are the handles? Let them know.
Password the cat. That's our Instagram handle.
Like the second I got him, I was like, Insta. No, Laura Sogar, just my name, and then
Monday Ponday.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Then, I run a weekly show at Now and Then, so you guys should come. It's in East Williamsburg. It's really fun. We have really good way better stand-ups than we should, to be honest.
Everyone should get outside while they still can.
Absolutely. Yeah, outdoors. So.
Yeah, outdoors sounds nice.
To be clear.
I think that'd be amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you both so much. And thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who's listening. This was Receipts.